going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers have been much better the last month and a half. February was an excellent month in which they went 9-3. So far in the month of March, it's not ideal yet, but it is heading in the right direction, right? They had a really rough start to this month, and so far are 3-2 in their first 5 games, with the Sacramento Kings coming up, the Golden State Warriors. And then after that, it does kind of lighten up a little bit given the circumstances, right? You see some names that stand out like the Sixers, but then you take into account like Joel Embiid very likely might not play in that game. Of course, the Warriors are supposed to get Steph back for the Laker game because it's the Lakers, and the Warriors desperately need that win, as do the Lakers. So we'll see, right? If the Lakers can kind of replicate here what they did in the month of February, and only have 3 to 5 losses the entire month, that would go a very long way. The Lakers are still the 9th seed currently, but they are right in striking range. They are a solid win streak, or one of these teams ahead of them going on a significant losing streak, and boom, all of a sudden the Lakers could be in the conversation for the 6th seed. Right now, they are just 1.5 games back behind the Sacramento Kings and the Dallas Mavericks for the 7th and 8th seed, and 2.5 games back of the Phoenix Suns. Pelicans, that would be kind of tough to catch, given that they are 4 games ahead and we only have 16 games left. It's not impossible, it's just rough, especially given the circumstances with the Pelicans. They have a pretty easy schedule, and I just don't see the Lakers being able to outpace them by 4 games total. The Lakers have played more games than pretty much everybody, so that goes a long way too, because, hopefully teams kind of take some L's down the stretch, and then all of a sudden the Lakers could end up leapfrogging some of these teams. Darvin Ham has also been a little better, right? I still don't think he's a good coach by any stretch of the imagination. I still think at times he's well in over his head, but he has had some moments, some better just moments in general. He's cut back on Taurean Prince, which is a big thing. Inserting Rui Hachimura into the starting lineup, right? The offensive efficiency has been much better. Him using timeouts a little bit better. He's still not great there, right? You look at the previous Kings game, that was a terrible example, but there were a couple moments in the past few games. Even in Milwaukee, I thought he did a really good job kind of sticking with guys, going through the rotation, calling timeouts, utilizing timeouts, even down the stretch. So hopefully it's a direction, an improvement direction in the right direction. Still think and have a lot of concerns about this team, right? Now look, first off, I think this team can beat anybody. Said that, sticking by it. Get us into the playoffs, I'll take my chances. The only team I have concerns about is Denver, but even them, I'd rather play them and have a chance than miss the playoffs or anything like that. I know a lot of people want to avoid Denver altogether. There's just no real way to do that, right? Let's say Denver finishes as the 2 seed and you end up now in the play-in as the 7th or 8th seed. Are you supposed to purposely lose a play-in game? And then now you're in a single elimination game where if the other team just gets hot or something, now you miss the playoffs entirely because you wanted to avoid Denver in the first round, right? Now at least if you play Denver, you have a chance, right? I'd rather play Denver and have a chance than end up trying to rig the system and now it bites you in the behind, and all of a sudden you don't even have a chance to play them. I'm not a fan of that personally, but I do believe the Lakers can match up with anybody. Guys should start coming back. Gabe Vincent could come back as soon as next week. Jared Vanderbilt's supposed to return hopefully by the end of the month. Now you start getting your defense pieces in and we can start having a nice balanced attack. I do have concerns about Darvin Ham, right, and his coaching. I do have concerns about the Lakers and their defense. Offensively, the Lakers have been fantastic. Right? They're 2nd in points per game. They're number 1 in offensive efficiency. They've been 3rd in 3-point percentage since the All-Star break, but they're also they're 8th in 3-point percentage in the last 30 games. So they actually have been a very good 3-point shooting team, which I know a lot of people are surprised, but I'm really not. I talked about this in the offseason, and I even talked about when we had our struggle shoot from 3 that I had my concerns, and it's just been a little odd to me. But if you go watch some of the videos that I made in the offseason, I talked about D'Lo was 41% last season, Austin Reeves was 40%, Taurean Prince is a guy that could be 40%, right? You add in Christian Wood, who's 38. I know that Christian Wood hasn't really had a big part and stuff, and Gabe Vincent I even talked about 30%, right? My I know that these guys haven't played, but my point was in that video, because I didn't know that they were that they basically were going to be injured all season. My thought process was like, we have like 7 guys that are all 38 to 40% from 3. To me, it was just LeBron James. What would LeBron be? If LeBron is like 32% from 3 like he was last year, then, and he's jacking up 7 threes a game, then the Lakers probably aren't going to be a great 3-point shooting team. But I was like, if he can shoot 38 to 40%, which he is, he's shooting 40.5%, I was like, oh, the Lakers could be a very good 3-point shooting team. And guess what? They are. They're shooting 40.5% right now. And that is huge, right? But the defensive side of things are very concerning. We really need to pick that up. Really need to figure that out. Now, I understand in their defense, they don't have a lot of their defensive pieces. But another counterpart to that is, who is a defensive player in the starting lineup not named Anthony Davis? Like, look at the 5 guys on screen. Remove Anthony Davis. Which of those 4 guys can play defense? LeBron can at times, but not 35 minutes a game. And he's playing the 4, not the 3. Rui is not athletic. Austin Reeves is not athletic. And D'Lo is not athletic. And neither of these guys are defensive stoppers. So, of course, we're terrible defensively. And they are terrible matchups for teams like Sacramento and Denver, which is why we have our struggles. So I definitely have our concerns. And I don't think Darvin Ham is going to do it. I don't think Darvin Ham is going to change the starting 5. One, because the Lakers have had a lot of success. But again, you look at like the teams that we lost to, they're teams that have the firepower, right, at key spots, right? They have a guard that can punish Austin Reeves. They have perimeter guys that can punish Rui Hachimura. I just don't know if they will make the proper adjustments once we get to the postseason. We will see. Time will tell. Also, big problem that I have with Darvin Ham and concern about Darvin Ham is utilization. And I think that that's going to be an even bigger concern once everyone comes back. Great example, Spencer Dinwiddie. I know a lot of people are like, Spencer Dinwiddie's trash, like the Lakers should never sign Dinwiddie, blah, blah, blah. I can't get behind that. Because, again, Spencer Dinwiddie came to this team because the Lakers needed athleticism out on the perimeter, a point of attack defensive guy, and a secondary playmaker or primary playmaker off the bench. And Spencer Dinwiddie has gotten to do none of that. Austin Reeves has been the secondary or primary playmaker in units. Why? He doesn't handle ball pressure well. He turns the ball over too much. He leaves his feet and gets trapped. He gets tunnel vision. I mean, I can make a list of 15 reasons why Austin Reeves should not be the primary on-ball player. Can he initiate the offense at some times? Sure. But to me, Spencer Dinwiddie, I think he could easily be a 10 to 12 point a game guy with 5 to 6 assists off the bench, especially given the minutes that he's playing, if you allowed him to play the role that he is best at. If you wanted a player to just stand in the corner all game and shoot threes, you should have brought in like Joe Harris or a Daniel House, somebody like that. But no, you brought in Spencer Dinwiddie because he fixed a major hole that you had on this team, and he has yet to be put in the position to do that. It drives me insane. And the problem is like even Rui Hachimura, I hate how Darvin Ham utilizes Rui Hachimura. Like the list goes Christian Wood. I hate how Darvin Ham has utilized Christian Wood. The list goes on and on like a handful of guys that I just can't stand the way that they're utilized. And now you're going to start having Gabe Vincent back. Is Darvin Ham going to utilize him properly? Is he going to play him with the right units? Is he going to play him with the right pieces? Is he going to overplay him and overutilize him? Like, there's a lot of questions and concerns, right? The Lakers appear to be turning a corner here, but a lot of it has just kind of been simplified, right? Darvin Ham is kind of leaning heavily on his starters a lot more. All his starters have kind of played more minutes. He's cut down the minutes of Taurean Prince so he doesn't have to kind of figure out how to get him 30 minutes a game, right? Like you have several injuries, so he's only playing really like 8 guys on a regular basis. Like everything's kind of been simplified for him. And so as you start seeing guys trickling in and we get Jared Vanderbilt back, Cam Reddish, we'll see he's kind of been back and forth in games. Max Christie, although I think Max Christie, I know a lot of people want Max Christie to get more minutes. Personally, I'm okay with Max Christie kind of taking a back seat. just simply on the fact that, like, look, Max Christie is 21 years old. And if you get Gabe Vincent back, he has more experience, he's more disciplined, he has a better understanding. He's just the experienced guy. And we're a team that needs that. And so to me, I'd rather slot Gabe Vincent in the Max Christie role. Max Christie's 21 years old. I am incredibly high on Max Christie to the point where some people think I'm delusional about it. But again, he just turned 21 years old. His time will come. He'll have his opportunity. If Max Christie was out there dominating folks on both sides of the basketball and was dropping 15 a game and was just killing it, then yes, keep him. But that's not the case. And there's times where, like, you'll see the more minutes he plays, the more that youth and inexperience starts to show a little bit. He's not great fighting through screens. He's not great at navigating screens at times. He doesn't have the man body yet to kind of fight through and over things. He's excellent, and I really like what he brings when he is on and he is bringing it, and his shot is hitting, and his ability to create for himself. But he's not where we need him to be yet, and that's fine. Again, he's 20. He just turned 21 years old. He's young enough to be drafted in this year's coming draft. Not last year. I'm talking about this draft coming up, right? Like, so I have a lot of hype on him. But let's say you cut him out. Still have to balance Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, Cam Reddish. Even if you cut Cam Reddish's minutes back a little bit, because now you have Jared Vanderbilt, does Darvin Ham make the proper adjustments and rotations? Because one of the big issues that I've talked about with Darvin Ham is he doesn't understand, or it appears he doesn't understand, lineup structure. And what I mean by that is, a balance. Right? You have position players for a reason. There's a reason teams still have a point guard, still have a center, still have the things necessary in order to structure a proper court. Yes, the NBA has moved to kind of this positionless basketball in a lot of ways, but there's still centers. There's still usually a 6'10" to 7-foot guy out there. There's still a 6 foot 6'5" point guard out there that's making plays and orchestrating and running the offense. And it's just like you see these awkward, clunky, just guys out of position lineups. And it's like you have the pieces to constantly have a structured unit out there. As I mentioned, right? D'Lo goes to the bench. Spencer Dinwiddie comes in and plays the point guard role. Guess what? There's a structured lineup, right? You move Max Christie, Austin Reeves to the bench, right? You could bring in a Max Christie or Gabe Vincent if he comes back, right? Give you that 3-and-D point of attack guy to play alongside Spencer Dinwiddie. Or you could even go with Taurean Prince at the 2, Darvin Ham's baby daddy. It's perfect right there. There you go. You could do something like that. You have Rui goes to the bench. Plug in Jared Vanderbilt. Now you got some defense. Or you could leave Rui out there and provide the offensive power and then later switch, when you bring a Reeves back in or whatever, right? You have these balanced attacks where you have a nice mixture of offense and defense. You have skilled position players. You have guys slotted in their proper roles, playing their proper roles. And I think the Lakers could have a world of success. Problem is, Darvin Ham doesn't do that a lot. It's like Austin Reeves, Taurean Prince, Spencer Dinwiddie standing in the corner, Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis. It's like, none of that makes sense. Right? Like, now, if you had Spencer Dinwiddie at the point and Reeves at the 2, and you put in, I don't even really like Taurean, but you had Taurean Prince at the 3, and then 80 at the 4, and Hayes at the 5, then sure, right? Because now you have that skill position, you have guys slotted where they need to be, but that's usually not the case. Like Austin Reeves is the primary ball handler and initiator when you have Spencer Dinwiddie who could do it. It's just those kind of things. And the thing is that, like, it's going to be a catch-22 for Lakers. Because if the Lakers are great and successful and they make a push for the postseason, the Lakers keeping Darvin Ham is very likely. Right? Like, if the Lakers get to the conference, like, let's say they make it to the Western Conference Finals again, and let's say they play Denver and they lose to Denver again. Do the Lakers look at it as like, okay, Darvin Ham needs to go, we need to get a coach that can kind of put these guys in position to beat Denver? Or do they look at it as like, Darvin Ham 2 straight years in a row made it to the conference finals. The only team that we keep losing to is Denver. We just need to do a better job of structuring this roster to compete with Denver. Right? Like, or what if they make it to the finals? Or especially if they win the championship. I know a lot of people don't think it'll happen, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. And if the Lakers win the NBA championship, do the Lakers go, oh, we still need to get rid of Darvin Ham? Or do they look at it and go, well, year one, he went to the conference finals. Year two, he won the NBA finals. So he can't be that bad. And Darvin Ham was actually very good in the playoffs. He wasn't so much in the Denver series, but the first two rounds, he was very good. But the Denver series, I think, highlights and foreshadowed what would happen this season, right? Because Darvin Ham really simplified everything in the first two rounds of the playoffs, and it worked, right? And he kind of just threw everything at LeBron and AD, and it worked. And then you got to Denver, and it no longer worked, and now Darvin Ham had to start making adjustments and changes and making the hard calls on players and stuff like that, and he couldn't do it. And it started to fall apart. So that's my concern, is that if everything's working and things are clicking, Darvin Ham looks great. And he did do a good job utilizing timeouts and making decisions and making little minor changes game to game and whatnot. He deserves credit in that regard for last season. And I could see him doing it again this season because he simplifies everything in the playoffs. But what happens when you have that matchup against Denver or somebody where now the wheels are starting to fall off a little bit and we need you to make some changes here. We need you to fix and correct some things. Is he going to be able to do that? I don't know. That's the problem. That's the real concern. So, I don't know. Darvin Ham has been slightly better. Will he continue to improve and be better? I don't know. Time will tell. We will see. But also, there are some concerns in that regard. The Lakers seem to be turning a corner. Can they continue to win? Can they make that push for that 6th seed or at least finish 7th or 8th? Right? Like I said, you got Sacramento. You got to beat Sacramento. Got to beat the Warriors. If the Lakers win those 2 games, it is not out of the realm of possibilities that they go on a 7-game win streak. They already beat the Bucks and the Timberwolves. If you beat Sacramento, you should be able to beat the Warriors, right? Because you have the Warriors at home. Sacramento, you're on the road. That's going to be tough. But if you can beat Sacramento, you got the Warriors at home. You're on a 4-game win streak. You have Atlanta at home, like in LA. You should be able to beat Atlanta, especially because they're probably not going to have Trae Young. Then you have the Sixers in LA, which they're not going to have, or most likely won't have Joel Embiid. So that should be another win. And then you have the Pacers who just lost Mathurin and you're at home. Right? Just win your home games. That's a 7-game win streak right there. Going into that Milwaukee Bucks game on the road. Say you lose to Milwaukee, that's fine. Right? Because at that point you'd be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games over 500. If you lose to Milwaukee, you're still 10 games over 500. Going into the Grizzlies, the Pacers, and the Nets. Right? Like, let's say you should at least win 2 out of those 3. So, that would mean bare minimum, you're, again, 11 games over 500. And then you got the Raptors and the Wizards. That should be 12 and 13. And then you got, like, kind of a tough stretch to close. Right? You got the Cavs, the Timberwolves, the Warriors, the Pelicans, and then the one in between is the Grizzlies. I think the Lakers could be in really good shape. I think the Lakers should finish 12 games, at worst 11 games over 500. You got to finish with 11 games over 500, in my opinion. So, we'll see. Time will tell. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think the Lakers are kind of turning the corner here? Do you think Darvin Ham has been better? Do you think, no, he's still trash? Look, I'm not saying that they shouldn't fire him or anything like that. I'm not saying anything along those lines. I'm just saying that he has been slightly better. Can he continue to improve? We'll see. But again, how you feel with your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.